Alright, so instead of sending you pictures, I'm going to send you a video because there's a lot and it'll be easier. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever seen this before. This is an entire wiring harness minus 4 wires that go to the transmission for 91S10, which is computerized, but basically the simplest level of computerization that a modern car has. So we've got headlights, horn, you come up here, and that little part right there is what connects to the fuse box inside the car. And that's the cover and where the windshield washer wipers would be. And you come back to this whole thing, and then this is, get out of the way. That part right there is up near the firewall. And if you go down this way, you see all of the different controls that go to the engine and sensors. And it's still kind of tan bits. Those actually control the firing of the thingies in the throttle body. And then you come back up this way, and that is heating and air conditioning. And then you come over this way, and that is the brain. This only has like basically one computer, that one right there. Everything else you see are relays and not actually computers, even though they're turned on and off by different signals from the sensors and from the computer. Modern car, like our van, has over 100 different actual computers on it. These are the different pieces that I've taken off so far because the truck was wrecked up on the front left-hand side. That's the sway bar, which I'm going to repaint. This is my newest shop acquisition. It's a 12-ton hydraulic press. I'm using it to rebuild the differential, the little part that makes the axles drive from the drive shaft, which is over here, waiting to be put back together and repainted. And this is the housing and axle tubes for the differential and axles. And these are where all the parts for the, well, actually there's one on here. Which side? Yeah, there we go. That's for your drum brake if you've never seen it. I don't know how much you've seen with this kind of stuff before. The piston that drives the shoes into the edge of the drum. And that's the camshaft and the lifters. These little squirters, basically, that squirt oil up into the upper part of the engine to oil the valve train. And then hidden back there, I'm not going to uncover them, but those are the ends of the axle. More parts for the differential, bearings and seals and bolts. This is one of my work boxes. I've worked very hard over the past 20 years collecting all sorts of different tools to do home and car maintenance. You pull pulleys with the puller, axle bearing, puller. This are some taps and dies. This is some other one. I'm not going to open it. Okay, so here's the truck. I've got everything except for the brakes and steering off the front end, the brake cylinder and booster. And I'm going to finish cleaning this up, repaint it, and then I'll put everything back on, obviously, and the new engine. Suspension springs, side of truck. Some of the bikes I've collected over the years. this is my toolbox. I finally got a really big one. And it has all my various tools in it. And I have a little work surface. And there's my to-go toolbox. This has taken me, like I said, about 20 years to get all of these different tools together. I've got enough that, unless it's a real special job now, here's some parts. I can do just about any job I need to around the house. And this is a really neat, this is a Weber carburetor that I pulled off a wrecked Jeep in the junkyard. I'm going to resell that for a little bit of money and make some money off of it when I do. And I like going to the junkyard, and I like to pull parts off and then resell them because I just think it's fun. Plus, you get to recycle stuff out of the junkyard and people don't have to buy new parts. So it's a little less wasteful. This is a Holley 500 CFM 2-barrel carburetor that will probably hang around my shop forever until I get rid of it because I'm not using it. But maybe I'll find something to use it on. And oh well, this is a 1-inch carb spacer. You put these on to give your little boost to the power. It opens the plenum, and the more spacious the plenum, the more power you can make. This is a sort of unique Holley 4-barrel carburetor that they've stopped making, but it's a really nice little carburetor. I got it used, again saving money and less waste of buying a new one. And it has a specific type, it's 4-barrel, specific type of what they call booster, and that's the bit that's basically squirts the fuel in. And let's see if I can get one open here. Oh, that's not the good one. Let me see if I can get the secondary open. I don't know, secondary. Oh, come on. It's not going to want to cooperate with me today for some reason. Like, what the heck? Come on. I'm going to put that down for a second. See if I can't get the secondaries open. Why aren't you opening? Well, there we go. See how that's a completely open circle. They call this annular booster, as in all the way around annular, and little jets. You can see them in there. And usually what you get is what they call a down leg. And that's what the other one has. And basically, it's off this shaft, instead of seeing the perfect circle like that, you see a little brass tube sticking downwards. And they are not quite as efficient. They actually might do a little bit better at really low speeds because they're smaller, and that means there's less impeding the airflow. But real power is all about burning fuel efficiently. And when you're carbureting something, that means getting good atomization of the fuel. This does a better job of atomization. So even at low power, you get a better throttle response. From all the research I've done, I think the people who say that the down leg ones actually do better at lower RPMs, what they're really facing is a problem where they're thinking bigger is better. And it's not, you use a smaller carburetor than most people think you need to, because that way you get a more efficient fuel burn. Most people want to put a big, huge carb on, oh, it makes so much power, but that really only works for the same size engine. The when you're at really, really high RPMs, which means you have to race it, which most people never do. So they just end up with a really inefficient fuel system. Let's see here. Okay, so then what we have over here is the engine block that I pulled out of the junkyard. And it was in pretty fantastic shape for a 1974 or 75 engine block. And then more parts for the rear end right there. Some pistons that I probably will use. They are also secondhand. So I got them for a really good price, but I have to see if I can clean those up before I decide to use them because they're obviously quite dirty. Water pump and fan, power steering pump, valve covers, and then the pistons out of the engine and the old cylinder heads, oil pan, the intake off the V6 I took out of the engine, out of the truck that was shot, wasn't any good anymore. Another set of V8 heads, and then the set of heads that I'm probably going to use. Let's see what else we have in here. Oh yeah, transmission. And the bike that I'll hopefully be riding again soon. My hand is good enough now that I probably can, but my leg still isn't great. I have nerve damage over that in my leg. So let's see. That's the dash, and that's a fuse box, the other side of what I showed you out there. The damaged fender and fender well. Another dash I bought to replace my damaged dash. The radiator support, mine was damaged in the wreck that it had, and this is one I bought from a guy who was parting out an S10. And it's the same one. I got it for like $50, which is a really good price because I got it with the dash and some trim and some other things. So let's see. Now this is the catalytic converter. I'll be able to sell that for a little bit of money. They're got platinum, I think it is, in them or something. Can't remember now. I think it's platinum. Anyways, they recycle these and take the precious metals that are in them out. Let's see. This is an engine crane or a cherry picker, different things that it gets called, chop crane. And it's for, guess what, pulling engines out and other stuff like that. Let's see. My little stock of wood. I have a grinder and a table saw there. All the sort of junk you collect when you have a place to put it and don't get rid of, even though you should have. Scooter for Jimmy and some lawn care stuff. But what I'm hoping to do is I'll take this set of heads. They're called Vortec heads. They're a very efficient head. Put it on here. I'll get a new cam that will be a little bit bigger than a street cam, make a little bit more power. And then I'll replace that water pump that I showed you with when I got off eBay. That's aluminum because it saves weight. And that'll make the truck drive better because it's going to be front heavy with a bigger engine in it. And I'll also get an aluminum intake manifold that'll save weight again. And I'm going to, let's see, that's the engine. I might, for the transmission, it depends on how good the transmission is. If it's a little bit sad and tired out, which it might be, because it's old enough, I'll have to put some new parts in it, and I might be able to put a part in it that lets it shift like a manual transmission, even though it's an automatic. Let's see. That's just some of the old steering parts. I'm replacing them all because they're all worn out from being old. I had to get that stuff new to replace it. Those are your tie rod ends. Those hook into the spindles. I'll show you some spindles later. And basically, when you turn your steering wheel, you turn the pitman arm right here, and that hooks on right there, and it pushes the rack back and forth. That side's attached to the frame opposite that other arm I showed you, and that's what turns the wheels. My new leaf springs for the rear, because the one was broken when I bought this, because I got it really cheap. Paid $1,300 for it, because it was all old and beat up and sad and tired. I had to fix this door. I still have to put a part in the other door so that they can open, and I've got to replace a hinge there so I can open that window, and the hinge and glass over there. I had to get those used too from another guy who was parting out a different S10. Let's see. The bed, you can't really see it, but the bed's not actually right. I think what they did, you can see the difference between the finish. I suspect what they did is they took a bed off of here because it was old and beat up or rusty and put it on. But when they put it on, they didn't do a good job of it, where they got one that was a little bit wonky. So it's like this huge gap that you can see maybe is uneven from one side to the other. It shouldn't be like that. So I need to fix that, or get another bed maybe out of the junkyard, and I can recycle this one at the junkyard then. And I can get patches to repair the rust. You can just see that rust by the cord up there, and the rust right here, and weld those in. And then if I want to, I can, like I said, and I think I will, get a new bed. But if I don't, I can get a little piece that's a patch right there too. I don't think the junkyard lets you cut pieces out, or else I could just go to the junkyard and cut out from a car, a truck in good condition, those pieces, and then patch them in. You know, I won't have to buy patches because they're stupidly expensive for the tiny little piece of metal they are. And also, again, I'd get to do it through essentially recycling, which is my preferred way of fixing cars and doing projects. And let's see here. I also have new tires for it because the tires need to replace, and I got these rather chunky tires because Jim and I like to go drive up and down the dirt and gravel roads around here and get a little bit of traction out of those. Let's see. Oh, you've probably not seen my house, have you, Tom? I think I'm going to send this to everyone, but there's the back. And my yard, those are lilacs those big things, and that's a little tent-like thing we put up in the back, apple tree. We let this side of the yard be kind of crazy because the deer and the groundhog and cats and all sorts of things like to live in the yard back here on this side. And on the back, I'll show you my garage in a second from the front. But if you go back here, you can see we have this pretty wild area. Last spring, a doe raised her fawn in here. I think she still had both of them when she was back here. It's hard to tell, but she might have been down to one. Alright, so that Sakari we bought, it's just like Mom and Dad's, and we didn't really do that intentionally. We needed to replace ours because parts of the frame were rusting out, and this just happened to be the best deal on the lot, and it's a really nice vehicle, and we knew that. I knew Mom and Dad had done all the research on it to know it was a good vehicle. Obviously my garage. This is, you can see I still need to replace this retaining wall on this side, but we had the same sort of looking wall over here, and I built this wall to replace it. I was still having to work on the driveway. You can kind of see there's some bad spots, and this is where I've pulled up concrete. That's what's all there. But I built this wall, and these are the braces that go back, and there's a T with another piece back there. They anchor it into the dirt, and there's a large amount of drop in elevation from the back to the front, so I had to step the foundation for the wall as I came forward. And it was a big project, and I just put some of the dirt I dug from up there right here, and I'm trying to grow something in it. It's not that volunteered, no idea what it is. And let's see, so we've got that's a hydrangea. I don't remember where that little sucker who's trying to recover from being chomped on by a deer is. This is elderberry. That's red twig dogwood. This is the gigantic hedge. That's the side of the house. This is a gigantic hedge that's in front of our house. This is some sort of honeysuckle. Can't remember exactly what. And this year I've let it grow out of control because it grows so fast. It's just a real pain. And so what I'm going to do then is the end of the year, when everything is done, I'm going to go ahead and trim it right to here, top of the right to there, top of the fence. And believe it or not, it will grow just like it has this year, because that's what I did last year, and it just grows like mad. So this is the little garden in our front. Lots of sunflowers, as you can see, and there's actually can't remember what the name of the other plant is in there. That's the section of the garden I need to tend to. Roses being consumed by an invasive vine that grows here in Iowa. There's some grass and some ground cover, in case you were wondering what that is. And I had to build this stairway right when we got here, and I haven't improved upon it because the concrete underneath there is in such bad shape. So let's see. This is catmint that grows wild around our yard, and we just let it go, and every once in a while I break off some and bring it into the cats. You can see we've got some flowers hiding out in there. More ground cover. This is the plant that I can't remember the name of. I really need to tend to the whole section here now. Hostas. in this side of the house. And then back door. Garage, I'm not going to show any more pictures down there because it's just as much as it looks. How's it usually isn't this bad? Okay. Kitchen. And laundry room. It was all downstairs, and that was kind of like a little, I don't know what they did in there, some sort of tiny little bedroom or something, but I made it into I made laundry up here. And bathroom. And we use the kitchen or the dining room as our bedroom because when Jimmy hurt herself, it was a lot easier to do that because we can't open this door because we keep some of our cats in there that don't mix with general population. Living room. And like Jimmy's room, there's Jimmy.
Hi, what are we doing?
We're recording for Tom.
Oh, hi, Tom. Hi, Abner. Hello, baby boy.
We're probably going to send it to other people too. I should introduce you to the cats. This is Foggy.
Yeah.
And Fog Snoggle. And this is his sister Daphne. No, Viola. This is Rumple.
That's Daphne.
And then this is. Come here. Well, this is Daphne. She's our tiniest little cat. She only weighs about 8 pounds. That's Dave, who weighs about 10 pounds more than that. He is a big little. He is a food hog. Say hi, Dave.
Doesn't have food. He doesn't want it.
All right, so let's go find his brother Cappuccino, who has blue eyes. Say hi, Cappuccino. Oh, Daphne wants some attention. Hi, Daphne. Yeah. Huh. Cappuccino is, we think, what they call fire tip Siamese, but we're not really sure. He looks exactly like one, though. All of these guys were cats that we found in various states of need when we lived in Ovid, in Colorado. This poor little girl, she was blind, wasn't she? Yes, she had such bad conjunctivitis that her eyes were completely blocked. And she was following a little girl up the road who was ignoring her. We took her in with her, another kitten, and we adopted that cat out, but we kept her because I liked her. She squeaks because I don't think she can do anything else because she's so tiny. Okay, so this is our other room, also full of cats. This is Lucky. Lucky is lucky because we found her on the way to a trip to Wyoming when we were living in Ovid. We're going to Cheyenne to see a doc at the VA, and then we're going to go camping. And somebody threw her out of their car on the middle of the road. A big highway, actually the Lincoln Highway, US 30, where we were. And yeah, she got lucky. And that is, I'm having some trouble with words today. Names, anyways. Sweet Pea. This is Slick. We've had him for the longest with his sister, who is Fluffy, who we probably need to call the doc today, don't we, and get you some penicillin, because I think she has a cold again. She always has a little bit of congestion problems. I think she has a cold again. Say hi, Slick. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so let's see then. I think that's about it. So that was really half an hour or so talking. Okay, so that video is probably longer than you actually want to watch. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I'll send it to you. All right. Love you, Tom. Bye-bye.